Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Govindam Hari Purusha Jaya Radha Govindam Kunja Bihari Amajami Govindam Hari Purusha Janava Girirvardhan Gopi Janava Girirvardhan Yashodanandana Raja Janarandana Yashodanandana Raja Janarandana Yamunatira Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Lord Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, entitled Question for Prediction, text number 24. Bhagavan Ekam Chai Bhagavan Vichitaha Me Manipur Vashaha Tatvataha Parvisi Vibhahatu Tapanjaya Mahabhude Sarvam Etachta Bhagavan Vichato Me Virvataha Tato Tato Asya Yuna Bhakti Tapanaya Hamuna Sarvam etascha bhagavan Vrikshato manipurvashaha Tattvato has yudahartum Prapanaya mahamune Sarvam etascha bhagavan Vrikshato manipurvashaha Tattvato has yudahartum Prapanaya mahamune Prapanaya mahamune Sarvam Hadis Etat includes also that I have not been able to ask. Bhagavan, a great sage, Rishataha of the inquisitive, may myself, Manipurvashaha from the beginning, Tattvataha just in accordance with the truth. Arhasi may kindly be explained. Udahartum, as you will let know. Prapanaya, one who is surrendered. Mahabune, O great sage. Translation. O great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness in all that I have inquired from you, and all that I may not have inquired from you, from the very beginning of my questioning. Since I am a surrendered soul, since I am a soul surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge of this connection. Report. The spiritual master is always prepared to impart knowledge to the disciple, specifically when the disciple is very inquisitive. Inquisitiveness on the part of a disciple is greatly necessary for the progressive disciple. Maharaj Parikshit is a typical disciple because he is perfectly inquisitive. If one is not very inquisitive about sacred meditation, one need not approach a spiritual master to show the disciple. Not only is Maharaj against all he has inquired about, but he is also anxious to know about what he has not required. Factually, it is not possible for an inner to inquire about everything in the spiritual master. But the bona fide spiritual master is able to enlighten the disciple in every way for the disciple's benefit. Love to hear you on this.
Govindam Hari Purusha Amaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusha Amaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusha.
Answer questions on all topics. And even if one hasn't asked questions on every topic, he should be inquisitive. That's it means he likes to hear. He wants to hear from the bona fide spiritual master. That's what really enlivens a spiritual master, is when the disciple is very eager to hear. Prabhupada said that was his own case. His spiritual master marked him because one time, or maybe more than one time on some occasions, Prabhupada, who was a householder at the time, was coming to hear Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And hearing Bhaktisiddhanta was quite an event, because he was so learned. His language was so high, so educated, so vastly capable on every subject, that it was difficult to even understand him. What to speak of, he spoke for long periods of time. He was accustomed to speaking for many hours. And but Prabhupada stayed and he wanted to hear. So that's a good qualification. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, yes, I'll accept him as my disciple because he likes to hear. If another point, nice point here, Prabhupada makes is, there's no need, if one's not very inquisitive about the subject matter, there's no use approaching a spiritual master just to make a show of discipleship. In other words, one shouldn't think, I'll keep a spiritual master because it's fashionable, or because, like a dog, I keep a pet dog. And he's not really interested in hearing. He's thinking something else. Yeah, that means if one wants to ask questions like, can you help me get free from, I have some disease? He may approach the spiritual master to get free from a disease. That's not proper approach. Or to make some money. Sometimes say, can you pick a number? I want to put some money on the lottery. If you pick a number, maybe it'll be a lucky number, and I'll win the lottery. This is not a serious disciple. He doesn't know. Began our tongue, so Guru Meva begat shit, Smit Pani Shotriyam Brahmanishta. One is inquisitive to solve the problems of life, to find out the ultimate goal, to find out the ultimate truth, Tatvataha. the real truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me. So we want to know, want to find out the truth from him. He can give us highest knowledge. Just like the story of Sanatana Goswami and the touchstone. So someone came to was it Sanatana and Shiva. The story goes that a man approached a spiritual master and he had heard that the spiritual master had a touchstone. Touchstone turns everything it touches into gold. So this man was a materialist. So he approached for that. Asked the spiritual master, do you have a touchstone? I heard you have a touchstone. So he went and he had this over there, the rubbish pile that you'll find a touchstone. You just look at it. So he went over there, he found a touchstone, and he went off and turned so many things into gold. He was very happy. Now he'd gotten what he really wanted. But then he started thinking, maybe spiritual master, he's very intelligent. Why would he keep the touchstone in the rubbish? So he went back and asked him, why did you keep it in the rubbish? He said, you want something more valuable? So, yeah, I want something. What's your most valuable thing? He will throw away the touchstone. And throw away the touchstone. And then he gave him the Maha Mantra. That's the most valuable thing. So the spiritual master can give the most valuable thing if we're interested in that. Why then ask for petty things? The devotees, pure devotee thinks it's insignificant getting material opulences such as the 8 mystic powers. He thinks it's silly to want to go to the heavenly planets, like phantasmagoria, just some little trick, magic trick. And he thinks going to the Kaivalya to merge into the Supreme is hellish. Kaivalya narakayate, tridasa pura akasha pushpayate. Urantandriya sarvapatali, rodkatatam strayate. He considers all these other goals to be insignificant. He just wants pure devotional service. That's the real thing. So we can look and see on the market, there are so-called spiritual masters. What are they advertising? You'll get peace and things like that. They wanted to get peace. They wanted to get wealth. They want all these things, but Lord Chaitanya says, Nadaram najanam nasundarim. Kavitamba ajagadisha kamai. Amajanmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhakti rahoi tukite. Said, oh my Lord, I'm not interested in Dhanam, Janam, and Sundaram. Wealth, followers, and beautiful women. That's generally what people are interested in. But he said, I'm not interested in that. I want simply pure devotional service. And even I don't mind if I have to come back again to this material world to serve you another lifetime or many lifetimes. Quite happy to do that. Just want to be engaged in devotional service. Pure devotional service. Doesn't want anything else. And anything that gets in the way of pure devotional service, then he rejects it. He only wants pure devotion. If you speak on that, he's interested. So that's a real disciple and that's a real spiritual master. A real spiritual master, even if someone asks for something else, because he's like Krishna. Krishna is very intelligent. If someone comes to ask Krishna for a material thing, the demigods, they'll give it. Ashutosh, Lord Shiva, he's known. He's easily pleased. If you perform, even Brahma, you could say Hiranyakashipu, he performed austerities for a long time to please Brahma. And Brahma was so pleased, he gave him anything he wanted, anything he had. So Shiva and Brahma, they're easily pleased, and they'll give those benedictions. But Krishna, he's not so easily pleased. He's only pleased by pure devotional service. So to win his favor is a difficult thing. So what happens if someone approaches Krishna and wants some material thing? So Krishna may give it, but he fulfills that desire in such a way that the person doesn't keep continually wanting more material things. He does it, he awards it in such a way the person ultimately gets him, gets Krishna. As he prefers to get Krishna rather than those material things. That's his expertise. It's like there are stories even in this movement. There was one little boy. He was an urchin, street urchin. He wasn't no parents. What do you call him? An orphan, street boy. He had no family. So he was raised by the ruffians. You know, the little street boy joins the bigger street boys, and they do mischief. That's all they do. So this little street boy, I forget what age he was at the time, but he was a thief. So he noticed that Prabhupada had a beautiful watch. And he was thinking, I'm going to steal that watch. That's what he did. He's a thief. And somehow or other he got close, Prabhupada on several occasions. He was just watching when he was going to be able to steal. And in order to get closer, he kept putting on a show like he was interested in Krishna consciousness. So he would chant along with the others and sit down for classes. But his intention was different. He tells his story, by the way. It's not that he tells a whole lengthy story how it happened, what he was thinking. Ultimately, he became a devotee because he was coming to get the watch. But Krishna arranged it so instead of getting the watch, he got Krishna. And so now he's a devotee for many years. He's in charge of the distribution of videos in Mumbai temple, so Juhu Beach, Hare Krishna land. Sends videos of Prabhupada and ISKCON all over the world. So, but his intentions were different. But because he approached Krishna, therefore it's said that if you want something material, you should still go to Krishna. What is that verse? Yeah. How does it start? Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udadi tivrena bhakti yogena jeta purusham puram. Very good. Akama means no material desires. Akama sarva kama, or he has unlimited material desires. Or moksha kama, he wants liberation, impersonal liberation. Still, in all cases, sarva kama moksha kama udadi tivrena bhakti yogena purusham puram. That is, one should engage. Tivrena means with great force, great energy. Tivrena bhakti yogena. He should perform devotional service. He'll get it. Even if he wants material things, he'll get it. But you may lose your taste for it. So be prepared for that. You may get what you wanted, but you may not want it anymore. So sometimes people know that. They're afraid of approaching Krishna. I'll lose all my material desires. We see it happens. Sometimes someone approaches Krishna and he loses his desire for material things. Sometimes it happens very quickly. And the family is upset. They know. They have to be careful of Krishna. Krishna, he steals away the hearts of everyone. So everyone has to be careful by approaching Krishna. Watch out, because therefore the gopis said, I don't know the Sanskrit. If you're interested, one gopi tells another gopi, if you're interested in society, friendship, and love, in this material world, don't go and see that boy standing by the bank of the Yamuna, playing his flute with threefold bending form. Why? Because you'll lose all material desires. You won't be happy with material things like society, friendship, and love. Forget it. Don't go there. And it's true. It actually happens sometimes. That is Krishna's mercy. Takes away purifies all of our material desires. So we don't care for those things anymore. And we're very fortunate. And if we haven't got that yet, we still have taste for material things. And we have to go on hearing. Patiently go on. That's the instruction. Utsaha nischayatharya tatat karma pravartana. One has to be enthusiastic, determined, and patient. Go on performing the devotional practices. Be enthusiastic. Utsaha nischayatharya tatat karma pravartana. Janasanga, to avoid the association of non-devotees. These are considered very favorable for devotional service. Then he can make all progress and eventually he'll come to the ultimate goal. Goes on hearing the truth. Not that if the spiritual master doesn't say what I want him to say, I ask him questions and he doesn't answer the way I want, I'll go to some other spiritual master. No, he's not a sincere disciple. The sincere spiritual master won't give just speculation answers, or just whatever the so-called disciple wants to hear. No, spiritual master gives the truth, even if it's unpalatable. He gives the truth. He doesn't just speak palatable truth. Truth that is pleasing. He tells the truth, no. That this material world is a waste of time. It's nonsense. Trying to become happy here, you can go on for millions of lifetimes wasting your time. He'll tell you that. And the real student says, that's all right. I'm prepared. It so happens that the process of devotional living is also very easy. It happens. But even if it were difficult, and sometimes the disciple is put into tests, his sincerity is tested. And he has to pass the test. It's like there was one devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He had a habit of going to hear discourses given by Mayavadi sometimes. So Lord Chaitanya was very upset with him about that. He said, don't bring him around here. Don't let him come here anymore. I don't want to see him. So he couldn't come see Lord Chaitanya. He was heartbroken. He was actually a great devotee, but had this habit. So he couldn't come, and after some time the wind was getting really disturbed. He was thinking, what's the use of my life? So the devotees, on his behalf, they asked Lord Chaitanya, please, can you give some time? We know you're not happy with him now, but is there any time in the future he'd like to know that you'll be able to see you again? Lord Chaitanya said, 10,000 births, and he can see me. So Mukunda, when he heard, he was overjoyed. He's willing to wait that long to receive Lord Chaitanya's darshan again. So this is a test. See what kind of a devotee he was. So Lord Chaitanya brought him back. He passed the test.
Thank you so much, Marj. Yeah, I thought of a few things, in response to your thoughts on this. And one of them was that in the first canto, second chapter, the sages start asking Sutta Goswami different questions. So then, as far as I remember, Sutta Goswami responds and he says that because you asked about Krishna, samprashno, right? Samprashna, something like that. That this is the questions or inquiries about Krishna, then they're good for everyone. Loka mangalam. They're for the welfare of every person. And so he was excited with those things, and so that was a type of an example of when the spiritual master is pleased when the questions are on a certain caliber. Prabhupada in the purport, I think it's chapter Canto 1, chapter 2, text 5, he describes that everyone's asking questions, different types of questions, the lawyers and the birds and the bees and all these different types of living beings. And that's not ever going to satisfy the soul. Prabhupada in the purport to that verse says that in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, text 15, then Krishna says that of all the Vedas, he is to be known. So the only thing in the Vedas is actually the urge to understand Krishna. So when we ask about Krishna or the transcendental subject matter of Krishna consciousness to the spiritual master, then that's the sum and substance of all the Vedic inquiries. So we know that the Brahma Sutras begins with the Tahato Brahma Jigyasa, that now we have this human form of life, we should ask questions about the absolute truth. So when we ask about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how to know him and how to love him, how to get closer to him, that is the topic which can satisfy the soul, suprasidati. So, yenatma suprasidati, that those are the questions which can satisfy the soul. So, this anxiousness to hear, this is possible. There's a verse, or there's a lecture where Prabhupada discusses that that verse that Maharaj brought up about not going to go see Krishna unless you're finished with your material. If you still want to enjoy family, friends, and society and all these things, then don't go and see Krishna on the bank of the Yamuna. In a purport or in a lecture that Prabhupada gave where he quoted that, he also discusses that the price to see Krishna, or the price to is actually this lolium, this greediness, or this intense desire to really to serve the Lord. And that can be attained. It's not very easy to attain. Even after you do so many pious activities, you don't get that. But you can get that through the association of the devotees. And the best way to associate with the devotees, specifically the spiritual master, is to, as Prabhupada describes in this purport, position oneself as to be inquisitive. One should be inquisitive towards that person and hear from them. So that's also stated that in the Nectar of Instruction, that Rupa Goswami says that we should act with the Uttama Adhikari in such a way to render service. And as Maharaj mentioned about Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, the spiritual master considers it a great service for the disciple to hear from him about what he's learned about the absolute truth from his spiritual master. Okay, so those were some points. I did think it was nice that in this verse and purport, Prabhupada, or in this verse, Parikshit Maharaj is stating that, yeah, I know that my inquiries have not been exhaustive, but I actually want to know in full. So don't leave anything out because I wasn't able to ask about it. And I think that's very nice, that if we always have a humble heart and we position ourselves as deficient, if we always position ourselves as a fool before the spiritual master, then he'll be naturally kind towards the disciple. So those are some points. Thank you for hearing. Was there anything else? Did you have something more, Maharaj? Devotees? Radha Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I think you asked the question when CJ was here. Basically, you asked about something along the lines like, is devotional service robotic, you know? And I was wondering, maybe you remember the context behind the question you asked, but I have a similar uh kind of, like, I'm wondering, you know, where how do we utilize our individuality in Krishna consciousness, you know, because externally it does, you know, we hear that Krishna doesn't want us to be robots, but also at the same time we're all told to say the same thing, like the perfection of our you know, our devotional services, if we can repeat what we've heard, and externally we all look the same and we follow the same regulations and things like that. Uh, so I'm wondering, how do we satisfy that propensity to want to be an individual, you know, in devotional service?
Well, no one will ever look like you, Prabhu. No one will look like you. You know, you're unique in that way. No, but we're all unique. It's so there's no question of um, destroying individuality. It's not possible. Even if we take all the same external, you know, procedures, we have an individual relationship with Krishna, and that's the heart and soul of the devotee. It's his personal loving relationship with Krishna. It's dynamic. When you offer obeisances today, it was different than you did it yesterday. You offered obeisances yesterday too, and so did everyone else. But when this devotee offers obeisances, he may be meditating on begging Prabhupada for his mercy and trying to develop the humble mood. And another devotee is thanking Prabhupada for all the blessings that he's given already. And another devotee saying, please bless me to become the servant of these devotees. And another devotee is saying, you know, please let me preach your message, you know, to the world. So there's something internal, which is the heart and soul of, you know, the devotee. He has his personal relationship with Krishna, which is dynamic. And
So he can go, so he can use his individuality, and he's out preaching somewhere. He he's there, and he's uniquely meeting that person. That's a unique encounter. No other devotee is meeting that person at that time, in that place, in that circumstance. So what he says, he speaks to try to bring that person closer to Krishna. So that the intention may be the same, but it's always going to be a little different presentation, because the time's always different. Place is always different. The person's different. Everything, the bodies are changing. So where's the question of being the same? The body, we're not even the same for one moment. We have different cells and different desires, and that person has different desires, different thoughts. There's different sounds, there's different temperatures. Everything is changing. So where's the question of how can it be the same? Even if you think, I'll go and do exactly what my spiritual master did, I'll preach just like that. I'll go to Tompkins Square Park. There's different people there, different trees, different flowers, different time. So it'll be fresh. No matter what you do, it'll be fresh because you're saying it. It's coming from your voice, from your realization. And Krishna's in your heart, and he's unlimited. So he'll give you, even if you say the same thing, it'll be fresh, it'll be new by Krishna's grace. You're singing Hare Krishna, but it's new, it's fresh. It's not, you haven't lost your individuality because you're chanting. How many people chant Hare Krishna every day in the plaza? So it's actually quite unique thing to do. How many people do what you do? How many people do what a devotee does? So there's no question of not losing one's individuality. The more one becomes a devotee, the more he becomes a real individual. He's not just following the pack. When they have a long line waiting in a fast foods place, they're the ones that you should tell, give up you're losing your individuality. Just by eating whatever everyone else is eating, buying the same clothes, going to see the same movies. That's loss of individuality. We don't do any of those things. We don't want them. So that's
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the Samvat devotees.